What's up, Staten Island? Todd Bivona, Chris Reyes, Team USA, TUF Media. Great to have you along with us. Once again, we are previewing the 2025 Staten Island High School Boys Varsity Baseball season. Now, at the time of this recording, the baseball season has begun, right, Chris?
Yes,
Major League Baseball is underway. Kind of like the unofficial start to everyone's baseball season. By the time you watch this, the Staten Island baseball season will be underway. Minor leagues, little leagues, Babe Ruth leagues. 'Tis the season. I still think that this day should be a national holiday.
It should be a holiday.
You know? And let's celebrate this beautiful sport. This is America's pastime, people. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to get that official. But for now, we are going to be joined momentarily by a very special guest, right,
Yes,
Chris?
sir. Yeah, we have Coach Mauro from the College of Staten Island, the Ferry Hawks. We also hold him dear to our heart because he was our high school coach at Tottenville High School.
That's right.
So we're excited to have Coach Mauro, and this is going to be a good one, guys.
We're going to preview a couple of the teams and some players that are here, but we also want to talk to Coach about the CSI Dolphins, of course, and who he has been coming up through the ranks from Staten Island and beyond, because don't forget, Division II school, very competitive, very regimented, very, big program, only growing more and more as the years progress. Staten Island Ferry Hawks will discuss a little bit about his experience in dealing with Homer Bush and Edgardo Alfonso as coaches, things he learned.
Sure.
This is going to be a great episode. So, with that being said, be sure to share this with your friends, different parts of this episode with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Get the notifications so you find out more videos. Chris and I are going to be doing this throughout the high school baseball season. Be sure to get those episodes. Follow us on Instagram. Why not? We're going to share a bunch of media from throughout Staten Island high schools. Like us on Facebook. We have events coming up. Cinco de Mayo, for instance,
Yes, sir, May 5th.
at the Staten Island Hospital Community Park. Peters, Farrell, 7:30, Cinco de Mayo. You got to be there. But without further ado, I think we're ready for this interview.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we have more previews of the Staten Island High School baseball season. Once again, Top of On with TUF Media and Metro United Sports Unlimited. That's Chris Reyes, Team USA. I think it's time to get this started. Coach Mike Mauro, and here he is.
Hey, guys. Thank you.
How we doing, Coach?
Absolute legend. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you taking the time. He's got a busy schedule, getting geared up for the season. But let's just go back first, if we can. Chris said it at the top. 2001, 2003.
That's right.
What memories do you have from that? What were the best memories from those years? If
It's
you would?
so funny. I coached with Tom Tierney over Tottenville for 7 years before that, New Utrecht in high school. And to this day, my wife, who very rarely comes to games anymore, that ship has sailed, brings up the Tottenville team that you both were on about what a good baseball group that was.
Yeah.
And
Fun time.
fun times. I mean, I talk to you guys and the other guys on the team more than I do some of my CSI guys that I've coached. It's just Staten Island's a special place, and being able to coach in high school and in college has brought more to me than anyone can ever imagine.
Great. It's great to have you on the show,
I
Coach.
appreciate it,
really
man.
is.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this is great to have you kind of break down the high school scene. I'm looking forward to his takes on that.
Sure.
It was great to hear your takes on players and coaches. They're all winners, by the way.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner. A lot of winning coaches on Staten Island, to be fair. But, Coach, let's do a little wider, broader view. The state of baseball, as mentioned at the top of the show, the Major League Baseball season has begun. What are your thoughts on just the game of baseball on whole? Are we in a strong place right now with the game?
I think we are. Baseball's, it's America's pastime. I mean, it's not going anywhere. Sure, rules have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Things, even in the college level, they've teetered and, tweaked little things. But overall, baseball's here to stay. It's not
Absolutely.
going anywhere. I mean, today, we had practice today. My team was chomping at the bit for it to be over.
Right.
Running in to see the Yankees and Mets playing, and baseball is baseball, no matter how you look at it, and it's a great game, and I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, to Coach's point, Todd, we do some breakdowns of youth baseball at USA Baseball, and the trends of how many kids are playing. And to Coach's point, we're actually at the highest peak right now in youth baseball. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? That's good.
We were down for about a good decade. We were down in like the 12, 13 million in the whole country. I believe we're in the 19 to 20 million now. So baseball is alive and well. The amount of people that are going to major league games are up.
Yeah,
which is great.
It
Yeah,
is great.
attendance
It's a great
is
time.
up.
Attendance is up. And it's just an overall good experience. Savannah Bananas, right?
Yeah.
All
Oh,
these
my-
type of things. There's a lot of stuff going on in baseball right now.
We're going to get to Ferry Hawks baseball in a second. I was going to ask you about Savannah Bananas, but if I could bring it back to the teams you did coach in 01, 03, and all through Tottenville, to that point of the style and the type of athlete that you're getting. Coach, I'll ask you this first, and Chris, I actually want you to answer as well. The style, how has that changed over the years from 01, 03, 2010, even 2015? Is the ball player a different style ball player, more well-rounded? Are they offensive heavy, or what do you think? What are you noticing as you've been coaching for so long?
I'll be blunt but true. The player has changed over the years. I mean, just the fact that we're using aluminum bats and not wood. Back then that's all we used was aluminum. We had no wood. Now it's wood, and that changes the game too. But the type of player, I think, is a little different. With travel baseball and kids today play way much more baseball than we ever did.
Too much baseball.
Too much baseball.
Okay.
At a young age,
I say,
would
man,
agree.
I think you're going to agree with me with this, and I say this a lot to parents. Don't be the parent where you think if you're not playing 5 days a week and spending $5,000, you're doing something wrong,
Right.
because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think travel baseball, which is great for kids and it is great to learn the game and everything. I just think there's so many games and not enough practice.
Yeah.
Not enough, teaching the tools of the game.
Okay.
That's the things that have changed. Back when we played back then, our practice was all about cutoffs and all about base running and all about,
Right.
They don't have that today.
Interesting.
Even the kids that come from high school to college, I could see that they're a little lax in that.
Sure.
We have to rejuvenate it a little bit and get them back into it. The game of baseball is around and has been the same.
Right.
The player has definitely evolved like everything else in this world. It is what it is.
Are they stronger, Coach? Because we have all these healthy plans of eating and supplements and what. Are you noticing that?
The serious player is definitely stronger.
Is stronger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's two different animals in this game. There's the serious player that really believes and wants to try and get to the next level, which we all know how difficult that is.
Sure.
And then there's the player that just really wants to, play high school ball, play college ball, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But there is two different animals altogether. I
Interesting.
think anyway. I believe that.
I would agree.
Yeah, Chris,
Yeah.
I'd like you to answer that. Again, the evolution of the ball player from both when we were in high school, when Coach was coaching us, and also what have you seen in 2010, 15,
Sure.
20 to now? What do you think?
The thing that has gone up the most, Todd, to Coach's point, is the strength, which then equates to speed.
Right.
So when you look at metrics now, you don't see the same numbers that when I was in high school.
Right.
Okay.
It's better. That doesn't mean the game is better,
Right.
but athletically and physically, kids are more athletic. They have better training.
Way more opportunity.
Way more
to be in the
opportunities.
gym, to have a personal trainer.
Absolutely.
They didn't have that back then.
No.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Now they have every opportunity.
Absolutely.
If you really are serious and you really want to take it to the next level and try and get to the minor leagues and the major leagues, you have the opportunity.
There's most definitely an avenue there.
There is
you just have to do it.
Correct.
Where for when I was younger, it wasn't really there.
Okay.
You had to search really far to get it, and around here, it wasn't around.
Right.
It wasn't around, Todd.
Okay. So the ball player has certainly evolved. You've been through how many years now at CSI, Coach?
It's going to be my 17th.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Congrats.
and it went fast. It really did. Flew by.
Coach, let me ask you. Chris was big on this when we were going through the high schools and the alumni.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Mhm.
I love when he went through the alumni, everyone he knows, and who played this, played that, and who went on and played in college and whatnot. Could you share with us a couple of cool stories you might have over 17 years of guys who continued to play, dabbled a little bit? You have a couple of guys.
Yeah, there's the one thing that always comes to mind is I have a special game that always comes up, and we played this fog game down in Brooklyn in Cyclone Stadium. And it was a championship game, and we're down by 4 runs, and George Cansian came up and hit a home run to tie it up in the bottom of the ninth.
I remember that.
It's just one of my fondest memory because we were so close to canceling that game.
Oh, wow.
Before, because the fog and we were basically like, hey, you got up, you got to give us a chance to at least get up in the fog. and baseball wise, that was my biggest. One of my biggest. There's a lot more, but that was one that always stands out for me.
That's cool.
And listen, I've had some players that have played in professional baseball, more in the independent league.
Independent league, okay, great.
And stuff like that. Pat Gale was one of my All-Americans here, just a great player. His dad, God, still playing at the age in his 60s, unbelievable. The bloodline in baseball
bet.
there. Oh God, and you know what? It's just been the Ferry Hawks has really opened up a big avenue for me too, because I was able to bring one of my pitchers there 2 years ago that's still on the team
That's
now.
right. That's right.
And that has been just like having my own kid like on the team,
That's
being
really
able
cool.
to coach him.
That's really cool.
It is the most unbelievable feeling. Championships are great. Getting the Gatorade showers are great.
Oh yeah.
But there's nothing better than getting to the next level and you get to see it in person.
Wow.
Like on the field. It is a feeling. I get goosebumps just talking about it. Yeah, it's a feeling that you
That's cool.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
How rewarding has, as he actually led us right into the Ferry Hawks conversation. How rewarding has that job been? I mean, that's something else.
It's been amazing. I've been very fortunate in my sports career. I really have. Being at the right place at the right time. It was funny. The field was being redone when the Ferry Hawks started 3 years ago.
That's right.
And they needed a place to have spring training, and my season didn't even start yet. So I was like, why don't you come here? Edgardo Alfonso was the manager. And,
oh, that's right.
And we hit it off. We just started talking, and he goes, "When's your season over?" He goes, "Why don't you come and hang out? Come to the field." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to get in your way." He goes, "No, calm down." I took him up on it, and then one thing led to another. I was throwing batting practice, and then he gave me a uniform. I got a locker.
Wow.
And I've been fortunate. I had him, then I had Homer Bush as the manager the following year. And
Two legends.
Two legends.
Two New York legends.
And I'll tell you what, they couldn't be more personable and more normal.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, just such good people. Yeah.
How valuable was that for not only the players but for you? And what did you pick up from? What did you learn from two guys like that?
You know what? It's so funny you say that, because I brought a lot of practice planning here for that. The way.
Oh really?
Oh gosh.
So the way they practice with the Ferry Hawks, you kind of.
I'm not afraid to. I've always said this. I'm never afraid to ask questions or jump on YouTube and watch another practice or grab a manager. Go, what do you do? I'm always learning at this age, always learning. And I brought over like what they do in the bullpens and how the pitchers, act and what they should be doing. Preparing is the big thing.
Oh,
I learned that when you could treat the college kids more adult-like, they'll surprise you. They actually will pick up on, you don't have to be on top of them every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they can get their work done without you holding hands and showing them, you lead them to the water and they do drink it, believe it or not,
They do.
And that's the most rewarding thing is, and then just the way they're coaching, both those coaches were so calm and the players loved them. Like, and I say this all the time. If I could take back the first couple of years when I was here, I was all about yelling and screaming. I thought that's what it was about.
Right.
And it's so opposite.
Yeah.
It's so opposite. It's all about the experience.
So watching them made you kind of.
It did. I kind of morphed into how they coached. And I would, sitting with them for 3.5 months in the summer, watching them coach and how they interact. Because my place was just the bench coach. I really didn't. I interacted when I had to, ground balls, beep, but I didn't get involved with it. But I listened. And I listened and I learned and I brought a lot of that here.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's really made this atmosphere so much more fun.
But
and just a better experience.
Chris, can you comment a little bit on that notion of how he went full bore 17 years ago, 16 years ago, and he was really he felt like he needed to be that voice. It sounds like you needed to be that leader and you need to be that guy, that guiding light.
Yeah.
Could you speak to that a little bit? How different styles are effective, but maybe at the end of the day, it is the calm, cool, collected Edgardo Alfonso, Homer Bush, that style.
Yeah.
What are you noticing is most effective for different levels of play?
I had the luxury of coaching Division I baseball at a very young age, and I did learn that from Coach Maines, what you said, Coach. Coach Maines was very even-keeled, nice and relaxed.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, and I was the young coach that wanted to yell and scream and stuff like that, and kids don't respond to that.
Okay.
And to Mike's point, the better and more talented they are, the less they respond to that.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, which is pretty interesting. And I've taken that approach with some of the, kids that I train in the private sector to just be a little bit more mature about it. You don't have to scream at the good kids.
Right.
You really don't.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't have to scream at them. And I've noticed that when you do that, the relationship, the cohesiveness of that relationship gets better.
Agreed.
I was just watching, guys. I hate to spin it to another sport, but on Netflix, they were following Team USA basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen this at all. a great documentary, a really, really cool watch. But it was interesting to hear Steve Kerr talk about what it meant to be the coach of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. And coach, I feel like Chris too, he's kind of echoing your sentiments where it's just like, I gotta let these guys go.
Right.
I mean, I could point them in the direction of like he sees something that they don't, but for the most part, let these guys cook.
Let it fly. Yeah.
So is that what you're saying? Like if you got a stud pitcher who's got a routine, let's say, you're more apt now to be like, all right, Jim, you're good. All right. You trust that.
I do. 16, 17 years ago, if you would have told me I would not be calling pitches and my pitching coach wouldn't be calling the game today, I'm like, you want to pitch, you call your own game, you can.
Okay.
And it's just a trust value, and that goes a long way. I mean, these are things I never thought I would do that. Like, I'm in control of the game. But I've learned that nobody knows how they feel or what pitch is working better than the pitcher.
Right.
It's so true. And listen, there are definitely mistakes where they'll come in and be like, what were you thinking? It was 2-1. Why would you you got to keep that low one out. Like, and they're like, you're right. That's how I feel like I'm teaching better that way.
Yeah.
I get more out of it. I do.
Let's go continue with the Fairyhawks chatter, actually.
The locker room, when he talks, you could hear a feather drop, not a pin, a feather. And it's just when he talks, you listen. And he goes, Mike, this is a big decision. Like, you have to really be sure of what you
got to think about it.
You do.
Great to have you along with us. Going to be a great ride. Plenty of content you're going to get from here, not just what you're watching here today. Be sure to like us on Instagram or like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit notifications so you can see each team's preview is going to have its very own video of the 2025 Staten Island High School boys baseball season.